Hey all, welcome back. I'm Jeff with Pro Diesel Repair, and we are going to do another video on the 79 Lincoln Continental Town Car. We did the rear removal of the door panel so that we can see everything that's in there. We lubricated a lot of the parts for the door lock mechanism, the window track and everything like that. We're going to do the same with the front door panel now. Everything's real similar to how it comes apart, with just a few differences, obviously. But there's nothing wrong. Everything works just fine with all the windows, the door locks, and everything like that. And on both sides, what we're doing is just kind of lubricating things up a little bit, lubricating the window tracks, because in this car we've got the smoker's triangle window that goes down first, and then your main window goes down after that. It's just a single motor that does all that. It's just how the linkage inside does, and so I'm going to show you kind of how to grease some of that so that the window works best it can, because what makes a lot of these things fail, with especially power windows, the power seats, which keep a lookout for that video, because we're going to do a full on service of the power seats by removing the chair and going through and servicing every part of the gearing down in the track so that you ensure that all that stuff works. Because what happens is things like power seats, the power windows, all that kind of stuff, over time they get hard to move. It's hard to roll the window up and things start catching and dragging, and if you don't do anything about it, eventually you're gonna have things fail, like motors and stripped gears and you name it, anything could happen. So that's what we're doing in this video, is showing you, let's remove the door panel on the front door this time, and I'll show you everything that's in there, what to lubricate and all that stuff, and what to use, so you can keep your systems in your Continentals working flawlessly, because we've already got a 40-year-old car. We want it to last even longer than another 40 years. We know that it will. Just got to do a little bit of maintenance periodically. So let's get it done. Okay, step number 1, open the door. Now you guys are probably sitting here, are you kidding me? What is this clown I'm watching here? Well, I don't know, but I do know a little bit about what I'm doing here. So we got this. It's got to come off of here. Just unscrew. Just be delicate with everything that you do, because it's old. Start out with, in a lot of my other videos, when we were doing these power seat switches on the repairs and everything, because this is a power seat switch out of a 1995 town car, and I swear to God, I put this in hand tight once before and now again, and I still can't get it. Okay, so just grab your smallest set of pliers, very, very delicately. I may not be able to do this one-handed, so I'm going to set you all right there. Just want to be, I can't find my smaller pair of pliers I had, but that's what we do. Unscrew this ring off of here. Okay, next thing we're going to do is remove that Phillips. Make sure that everything's in view here. Okay. bear with me. That's what you get when you do watching something happen in real time. Pull that screw out, set it in a safe place. You can kind of grab a hold of this in here, pull it out, and then you want to pull it back because there's a tab. I'll show it to you when we get this apart. Yours are going to look different if you haven't done this repair, and you need to watch that video if that's something you want to do, because these power seat switches are a big fire hazard if you don't take care of it. And installing these switches from the 1995 town car, I found is the best way to go. But we're gonna take this screw off, take this one off. There's another one here, another one back here, and all that's gonna come out. And so if you watch that video for upgrading the power seat switches, and I'll try to see if I can remember to put a link in the description down below to get to that video. It's a really good repair, a really good thing to do. As you take all these screws out, and your switches just come out as such. Okay, the reason you slide this thing forward is you got this tab right here, so that needs to go underneath, slide forward in order to get it out. So, and then these, it really doesn't matter whether you take the switches off the base or not. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off because you can bump these and move the seat around. I don't want to do that. None of these are, the door locks are the only thing that are gonna do with that one, but just kind of push them down in here a little bit. Just kind of like this is about as far as they'll go, but as you pull the door panel away, you'll have to kind of finagle those things out. So the next thing we've got to do is there's a Phillips screw right up in here. Take it out. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. I don't use any power tools on things like this because things are so delicate and old, and it's just better off if, it's just my opinion, but it's just better off if you don't. Well, that's a lot longer screw than it needed to be. Okay, then this, I think this actually feels like it's plastic. It comes off of here. You can kind of grab a hold of the handle and kind of pull it. Just take it off of there. And this is all going to stay right in position. Next thing you do is you pop these things out. So you can reach inside of here like I did and push this with your finger, or you can just kind of pull. This is metal, so it's actually pretty strong. Pull it out and then slide it this direction because of these tabs here that slide in. I'll just show you how they kind of, hold on, let me switch hands here. So that just kind of slides in. You line it up, then you got that. It's gonna kind of push, and it's plastic, so, and it's just gonna snap in there like that. But you can reach around here through the back of this and just push it. See my finger? There we go. Slide it out that way. Same thing with this side. Don't know if, yeah, the door handle's in the way to be able, oh, you can reach and get it. Didn't think you could, but it's hard. But you can just pull it and it'll come right out. Same way. These are different. That one's going to be way too long to fit in that spot, so you cannot mix them up. Next thing is buried inside of there is a bolt, a screw, you know, kind of a coarse threaded screw with a 3/8 head on it. And there's going to be another one inside of there. Trust me, it's there. It's hard to see. But as I said before, this is all staying. Don't mess with any of that stuff. So we'll get these bolts out next. Just going to have to use a extension. And get in there. I love these swivel-headed ratchets because this is almost damn near as good as a power tool, or as fast in me anyways, without using any power tools. As I said before, that I just don't like to use them on these old cars like this. But just a regular coarse threaded screw. Set it aside, and then here. And I'm actually going to have to, I can't feel it, so I'm going to have to get my light. Something's in the way. It's missing. Okay, find a new screw to put in that. Okay, and that's the thing you're going to run into, is you don't know. I did the passenger door on this car, and the bolt that was in here was like way off its hole and just went straight up and whoever did that, had this apart before, just didn't get it in there straight. Okay, now I use a tool like this, and I'll show you you know what we're doing here. Let's see if maybe we can do a good camera view here. But we go in here, and there's going to be, I don't know what they're called, these little plastic deals, and I like to get right around them because they're real brittle. They're all along bottom all the way up to the top there, and you're going to have one like here, you can have one here and one here and one in the corner, about spaced out about that far, give or take. There's one right here and there's one right here, so that's about how far they're spaced out. And if you kind of pull this out a little bit, you can see where the next ones are at. Now this one's got one missing, I think. This doesn't surprise me. And you go along the bottom, do the same thing. Just be very, very delicate. Now that one popped out. Let's see if I can. No, I'm going to do it right now. We'll show it to you when I get this off. What we're doing if nothing makes sense right now. everything kind of starts coming loose a little bit. It almost feels like there's another bolt somewhere that I'm missing. There is. That one right there, which was missing on my passenger side. So I didn't know that it was there. Interesting. We have one on my passenger door. Had just these two screws in it. This one has just these two screws in it. So I'm gonna have to same screw. I'm gonna have to it's a little bit more better. I'm gonna have to get 2 new screws and go back and do the passenger side and get one replaced in here, and then get one replaced in here, just so I have everything. So now you just kind of pick it up a little bit, get it clear of the lip that's on this side over here. Hopefully let me see if we'll have a good view of what we're doing. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so there's kind of a lip here. Once you get it free from there, then you can just kind of pull it, and then one more thing to unhook. So after you just have to finagle these wires and the switches and all that stuff out of this tiny little spot here. And then there's a plug right here. That's for your light that's underneath the deal. Obviously we're actuating the door locks because we're hitting just pay attention to how your wires are. You know, this wiring is underneath of this wiring. You keep hitting the door locks again. But that's all free. Let me lay this down. Okay, these are what I like to do is I like to get this deal, you know, kind of just started in here, and I'd like to get behind, you know, this part and pop it away, kind of do this number or this, you know, which will hit the side of the door and push out and keep these in place. Obviously one came there, which they get stuck in here sometimes. You don't want it to do that, but it does happen. You just pull that out. If it took some of the paper along with it. And then these go, you want to do this with all of them. Put it in the big hole and slide it down. Usually this stuff is soft enough that even though that popped out, it still holds. We got one down here that came off, and I was missing one on this side. It's not a huge deal, but just gently pop these out. One that's missing is never mind, I thought there was going to be one right here. Okay, we're not missing one then. This one, you can see it kind of got a little bit beat up right there, but it should still do its job. Just gonna slide it in there, you know, like pick the whole door panel up with it, and you can replace these too. They're nothing new, but I find that they're usually decent shape. I haven't had anything, you know, that bad. So anyways, that's how that part goes. Next thing is this is all going to be different as far as, you know, what types of repairs have been made to the car you're working on, but just want to just carefully pull this away. These could be glued in. I just like to tape them, because once you know, the original deal I think is they were glued in, and I can definitely tell you that this has been apart before. And this is what I like to do, is just tape it like this, because this is actually coming off pretty good, because I'm just doing this one-handed. You know, this paper's pretty strong, but it's paper. So get all this off, put it out of the way, and then we've got perfect access to everything. No. You know, we got door latches here. We're going to lube some of this up. We've got a door or a window track here. We've got your locking mechanism. Yeah, let me get the light. Yeah, you've got your door lock mechanism there. That's your actuator motor. Oops, that was the window I just did. There's your, that's locked. Goes the opposite way. This rod here is your manual rod. Up here, you know, your manual locking rod you can use to lock it. That yellow one over there, that's me. This is me actuating the outside door handle. So let's do a little bit of these windows. They work, but they, you know, kind of make some noise. And they can be a little bit faster. But let's watch. So we got some stuff going on, other stuff going on. Let's do a full view from all the way back here. Works bad, not bad, but we're gonna make it better. Okay, first thing we'll do is I take some of this PB Blaster, or Tomcat piss I like to call it. It stinks. And just delicately spray any and all moving parts in here, because it's going to make everything work so much better. And you kind of go, we're going to go ahead and put the window up. Got my light hooked in there. So in here, got some other stuff to, if you get one of these with the straw on it, that's where your key lock goes and comes down there. And here, see, you got a little bit of kind of rust going on. Before you do that, though, you want to have a rag, and this, you just want to just be real delicate with it, or that, whichever. You can use WD-40 for this. I just like this stuff better because WD-40 tends to evaporate a lot faster. This stuff really holds in and works good for a long time. Grab the key. Oh man, works nice. Nice. Okay. And also, you can spray some different parts in here. Just make sure you wipe it away. I've never seen this stuff be real hard on paint, but that's why I like to use it. That we can also later on we'll put a dab of actual like grease in there. Let that stuff kind of spread and work around. So let's go ahead and grease up this window track. Okay, so with the window down, you can kind of take some I'm not going to be able to really do this, but you can see this part right here. I take some of this like dry graphite lube, I spray it inside of there. It kind of dries and then makes a lubricant, kind of a film. I think it works pretty good. As you can see, what's going to happen is the main window is going to come up, slides up past that, then it comes up along here. Usually let it do its thing, and then just take a rag and wipe off the excess stuff. Comes up there. Now we're gonna get to the fun part. Okay, so this is just some bearing grease, and I'm not gonna be able to film this, but inside of here you got the window up. I guess I'll get it actually up all the way. But inside of here, and if you watch the other video where we did the big gear, it's the same way in here. I just reach down in here, and you'll find the teeth, and you'll just spread the grease on the teeth of the gear. I'll try my best here in a bit, see if I can get a shot of it. The other thing I do is just run my hand all the way down this tube right here, put some grease around it, and you can take some more, go inside of here. Main key is just to get it, in here, and as you work the window up and down, the grease will get spread around. But really doesn't matter what kind of grease you use. This is going to stay. This is just wheel bearing grease. If it's good enough for wheel bearing grease, it'll damn sure be good enough for this. So I'm just gonna work the excess around in here a little bit. You can kind of see where that's been riding. It's plastic and everything, so okay. Okay, so you can see what's happening. There's a small window. Hi. It's just gonna make all that stuff work so much easier and better. Now this part right here, you wanna not smudge grease on the window like I just did. All right, now this part, we do a little bit more in here, right there. You see how that's gonna slide? It's hard to tell, but as it goes down, this slides that direction, so get a good shot of grease in there. Okay, now we're gonna let the window come down some more. This is a small triangle window. And more stuff that comes up here in some more places. You can see the old grease. It's still got some pretty good amount of grease left in it, but I like to get more. The basic idea is to just grease everything that you can see and get your hand into that moves. Okay, we'll go back up with this. Still kind of making some noises, but make some creaking noises that I don't quite like, but as you work it through a little bit more, it's getting better. Working really fast, which is good. So let's see if I can get a decent shot from inside of here. Okay, we're gonna try to stick the camera in here. I can't operate the window while I'm showing all this, but see how I got pretty good grease on the gear there. There's your motor and the rest of the linkage and stuff in there. Up here, got pretty good grease going on up in there. You can see that slide. I really wish I can show this. I think I can do part of it while we... Okay, this is the small window going down. That's as far as I can go because it's going to hit the camera. It's just a lot of old stuff. But if you get it all greased up good, it's probably going to be a lot better than it was. So that's what we're gonna do, and that's how we're gonna leave it. You can get some more grease and kind of stick it in this part right here too. This is actually greased up really good, so I'm gonna leave it. But boy, everything just feels and works so much better that we lubed up everything back there in the locking mechanism and stuff. So that's all working nice. If you were curious about how the cabling setup works for your adjusting your mirror, that's this guy right here. See if I can kind of pulls the cable that way. Got 3 different cables on here, and this just kind of rotates around. Pretty funky, but so mine don't work that great. They work, but not as good as they really should. Maybe someday we'll try to work on getting that fixed up, seeing if we could do something about it. That'll be a later date. So now let's get this thing put back together. All right. This paper put back in place. All these wires and switches and everything pulled through this hole. Get it somewhat in place. You know, to line up your holes for those plastic deals. I really don't know what them are called. I guess I should learn that. Let's see that original tape that's gonna help hold all this, hopefully. This is the hard part, but getting all this lined up where it needs to go. Pause you guys while I fight with it so I'm not. Voila, good as new. Okay, grab the piece here, and as I said before, you want to make sure that all of these things are in place here, because you'll never get them lined up if you don't. Meaning you don't want to have it off and out, you know, or in the big hole or whatever right here. So watch that. So the first thing here is that plug, which is for your light underneath of here. That is got to be done out here, you know, because the plug doesn't reach through or nothing, so you're gonna have to do that first, and then you're gonna have to finagle your switches through. You know what? It's probably easier to do it with the switch off of the base. You know, it is possible to do. You just won't fight with it as much. There, I just rolled the passenger rear window down while trying to get that in here. You know, you really can't see back here what I'm doing, but trust me that it's you'll know. And get everything kind of pulled up through where it needs to be. And then the other thing is you got to kind of bring this forward and get your door latch. You're going to pull it out, get that started, and then the next thing is lift it up some, get your manual door lock deal started, and then get it started there. And then just kind of double check, make sure all your wires kind of pull through where you want them. switches come out of here. Make sure that's all done nice and proper. Make sure your mirror controls they've got enough slack to come up to about right there, but just make sure that they can. And when you start, usually I've found once you get everything put in the right place, you can, all of these plastic deals line in their holes like they're supposed to. I have yet to fight with it. If you get it all put in here properly and then just run your hand hole back on it all the way across there and get it all pushed in. It's that simple. And then actuate your door locks, actuate your rear window. Still making a little bit of noise on that one, but you know what? It's old. That stuff's probably just making that noise, and maybe it'll work more as it goes. We'll go ahead and put this seat switch here. Make sure everything works. Make sure you go check out that video I did about installing this switch. This is from a 1995 town car. Installed in here. Way better. We are going to go ahead and install these big screws. Let's get a little bit of light on this right here. There we go. Can't really see, you know, sometimes you put a light in there and it just all of a sudden it's like, oh, and then you just kind of visualize it as it goes in. Whether that makes any sense or not, I don't know. This is the screw that was missing. And during the couple of takes or whatever, I went to go look for replacements of these, and I don't have any, but luckily it's easy enough that all I'm going to have to do is just take off that silver thing right here, because I'm going to leave this one out, and that's all I'm going to need to do to be able to install that missing screw. And that screw is missing on the passenger side as well, because it was never in there. Get 2 new screws and we'll put them in there, but for right now, this is going to be how this is going to go. It doesn't really matter whether you want to get all this stuff done first. It really doesn't matter. You know, at this point, you can test and make sure that the door is going to open and close. Nothing got messed with this, so that should be fine, but it's just nice to know. Does it work? Well, it feels great. Take the key. Make that work. Lock it. Doesn't work. And this one's the longer of the 2 pieces. Get that slid in there like so. And then
in place. Start this end. That's snapped in place. We've got this. I usually start it in like that and then pull, actually never mind, don't put the screw in yet. So pull this out, get it started in here, and then grab a hold of it with this hand and pull this other hand out. And that will, that'll work surprisingly if you have two hands. It works like that. Don't have two hands, well, you may need to get a buddy. Again, I just like to actuate things and make things work as I go, because you know, if you realize you put something together and you go, oh crap, that doesn't work so good, you can stop right now and fix it before you get any farther. It looks like my light's not working down here. We'll have to troubleshoot that another time. Yeah, troubleshoot that another time. Plenty of lights in these things. Okay, now we get this piece here. I'm going to go ahead and decide which one's going in first. That's all going to be based on, I've got a lot of excess wires here, so yeah. What you want to do, you see how I switched these around? I thought it was going to be better, but I got a lot more of this wire, and so what you want to do is just envision how everything's going to go down in without really forcing it. So it's all going to go like that, and that way this is exactly how I want this to go. So we'll start out with installing this. Put in these screws here. Never seen too many problems at all with these switches. They always tend to seem like they work really well. It's just the power seat switches that seem like I don't know if it's just because of the nature of how much current's running through that, or I really don't know. But for some reason they just don't hold up, and that's why we did this upgrade with the switch from the 1995. And let me tell you what, it is one of the best things I've done in a long time on one of these cars. Make sure everything works. Get this started. Especially since you can't find new switches. If you find new power seat switches for these things, I'm sure that it's a possibility, but I sure haven't found any at all. All right, I'm back. Camera decided to stop filming for some reason, but all we did was got the screws back there. We just put this back down on here. Won't force anything. It's nice and gentle. This, you kind of start it on here, pull up on the these usually start pretty good, and I'm not going to crank on that because I did it before and I can't get it off without using a tiny set of pliers. So I'm going to try everything here. Window's working really good, just makes a little bit of kind of a crackling noise, but can you do it? It's a 40-year-old car. It can't really be perfect in that aspect. We got this deal screwed back on, got all these parts all put back on. Next thing I do is get in here and make sure that everything, they definitely work a lot faster, even though they make some noise. Not too bad. Door locks. Boy, talk about working perfect in unison. Wow, it's nice. Oh, perfect. Got the windows all working. That one kind of hesitated a little bit right there, but this one's working good. Cool. And then obviously we got our power seats. Working good. All right, folks, that'll wrap it up. We got our power windows all serviced up and working 90%. I'd be a little happier if they were just working flawlessly without, any other issues. But anyways, they're working fast. It seems like they're working all nice and free, and that's with the car not running. When because right now, since I've been playing with the windows and door locks and all that kind of stuff, the battery voltage has kind of gone down just a smidge, and we're not charging anything into the battery with the engine like we would with the engine running. So anyways, everything should work better when you have the engine going and all that. But now we're all serviced up and with your power windows and locks and all that kind of stuff. It's good routine maintenance type stuff, even if you're not having any issues with it. Just good to go through and pull that stuff apart, have a look-see at the wiring, and just make sure that you don't have anything going on. It's a good time to catch things before a disaster happens, especially with the power seat switches. Even if your power seats seem like they work good, those are the ones that are most problematic in these cars and have the potential for the fire hazard. So check out my video on installing the upgraded newer switches for the power seats, and stay tuned for the full power seat service that we're going to do to ensure that you have flawless working power seats in one of these Continentals, so that you're ready to roll down the street in style like you already do. Anyways, thanks for watching.